Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today. I am Mel Rose, and I'm here to share your daily aspects. Today is Thursday, February 24, 2022. The Sun in Pisces with Jupiter and Neptune, Pisces, ruling planets sitting there in Pisces as well, draws our conscious attention to this expanded flow of inspiration and information, bringing clarity and fresh understanding to our sense of dedication to the creative work that we are engaged in. And the moon in Sagittarius expands our inner sense of adventure and learning as the waning crescent moon invites us to clear out the clutter, release, let it go, whatever it is that no longer serves you. You've got this week to work on pushing it out of your life. And then in a few days, we'll have the new moon in Pisces, where we'll have a nice clean slate, which we can celebrate and consecrate, and then begin to set fresh intentions and make goals. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and get right into the aspects. I want to let you know that this legend here has all the symbols that are on the page. So if you need a name or an idea about what the symbol is that you're looking at, they're right there. Otherwise, I'm going to talk about them all as we go through. I've divided the page into two columns, one for each of our luminaries. The moon represents our inner life. This is who we are on the inside, how it feels to be in our body, our heart and mind, all those things that we think, feel, know, and intuit, but do not necessarily have to express. So the aspects and transits that happen on the moon side, they're really brief because the moon moves quickly, and they represent more ambient energies that might affect our emotions, our moods, and our intuitions. And then the sun sheds light on our outer lives. This is more about who we are in our work, social, and civic spaces. So this is the person that people first get to know when they meet you. This is the part of you that interfaces with the rest of the world. And I address the rest of the aspects on this side because they have a lot more to do with how we interact in the world. And they take longer than these lunar aspects. Okay, and we begin with the moon today at Central Standard Time, friends. 5:19 a.m. Moon makes a square aspect with Jupiter. Now, when the moon and Jupiter get together, it's hard to have a bad time. We really feel a grandness about ourselves. We can feel and see the way that we have expanded and are growing. We feel very celebratory, and we want to share that with people that we keep close to us. The square aspect here does indicate a challenge, but generally the challenge that comes in with Moon and Jupiter is oversharing or overindulgence. So it's okay at this time to be celebrating your big and small achievements. We've been doing a lot of work over here with Saturn and Capricorn, so definitely we've probably achieved some positive results. And the only warning is to avoid overindulging ourselves or giving too much to other people at this time, because it is possible to overshare. And then at 2:45 in the afternoon, the moon makes a sextile aspect with Saturn. Moon in aspect with Saturn really gets us to noticing and feeling some way about the structures and networks that we rely on for support and validation, and our duty to maintaining those structures. In this sextile position, we've got a very cooperative vibration that helps us generate positive things. So it's great at this time, for a couple of hours at least, to immerse yourself in the work that you're doing. The outcome will be worth the effort. And then at 9:24 this evening, the moon makes a sextile with Neptune. And this is a void of course moon. So this will be the last aspect that it makes in the sign of Sagittarius until 8:30 the next morning through 8:30 a.m. the next morning. So you've got like 11 hours there of a void of course moon that will be in between in between the influences of Sagittarius and Capricorn. So that's a great time to turn within and to call on your intuitive practices, to do your journaling, have your self conversations. But this starts with conversations outside ourselves, especially from the heart and in the home with those people that we keep close to us, because fresh ideas and inspirations are coming in all the time right now, and they can inform our plans and our conversations. So talk about what you think can work at this time, and you can bring that into your intuitive practice as well. Okay, and then on the sun side of the page, we have so much going on. I'm going to go ahead and start with the ongoing aspects. We have Venus conjunct Mars through the 20th of March, which will be the spring equinox this year. And, the guidance I received on reflecting on this today was that we should celebrate what we have made, and this came up a couple of times, celebrate your achievements and remain dedicated to the work. Again, Venus and Mars are both in Capricorn right now. It's a Saturn influence. So it's really about the work that we have to do. And again, our attention to those structures and networks that we rely on for support and validation. So Venus is our loving, receptive nature, the part of us that is open to receiving affection and attention, but not just those things, also like goods and services, resources, finance, and romance. That's Venus, okay? And then Mars is our planet for initiative. It's the part of us that, it's the fire in our gut. It's the thing that makes us bold and assertive and, willing and capable to go after what it is that we desire. So the fact that they're conjunct together at this time makes us really powerful in our ability to, attract what it is we need to us, and to also pursue what it is that is not just flowing toward us very easily. Very powerful time for manifestation, very powerful time that says work on your partnerships, not just your romantic partnerships, but also your work, social, and civic partnerships. And especially while these are both sitting in Capricorn, as Pluto is, which Pluto's not on the page right now, but we're really going through some transformation in our approach to partnerships with people. And, so this is going to take some work, and it's going to take some self-work, and it's going to take some work within those partnerships, because what we want to do is, realize the ambitions and goals of those partnerships. And then we also have Jupiter in a sextile position with Uranus through the 20th at least. So that'll be spring equinox again, March 20th. And Jupiter is our planet for expansion, positive growth, good fortune, and experiences like higher education and travel abroad that really expand our experience. Jupiter is sitting at home in one of its home signs right now, Pisces. So this is an expanded capacity to create, an expanded capacity to receive inspired flow and to push it out as creation, okay? And then Uranus is our planet for awakening to those shifts and changes that we can make in order to make our lives go better for us, however that is defined by you for you and me for me. Sextile, again, very cooperative, positive energy that is dynamic, and it helps us generate, in this case, positive, expanded possibilities and opportunities in our lives. Okay, so this is the time to clear space in your heart if you haven't already, and be open to the expanded possibilities. Have your eyeballs peeled wide for the good opportunities that might come in, because with Uranus comes, like, it's not just change, it's sort of quick and intuitive changes. So if you've got your eyes peeled, you'll see an opportunity, you'll say, yes, that's the one. Your instinct will tell you, and then you'll go for it. It might happen very quickly. Okay, today is day 2 of 2 for Mercury in a sextile position with Chiron, and this is a point where we're inspired to seek out solutions, to have conversations about what can work for us going forward. Again, in order that we might be open to these expanded possibilities and more capable of creating and achieving those things that we ambitiously pursue. So, unburden your heart at this time. If there's anything that's on your heart or on your mind, have a conversation with somebody you can trust, someone who can help you, and, seek out the solutions there. And then today is also day 2 of 4 for Mars sextile Neptune. So this is assertive and desiring energy in a very cooperative situation with our relationship to humanity, sort of where we stand in the flow of the human spirit. It also points to our spirituality, but it just makes us assertive at this time, assertive in our ability to work with others is what I'm going to say. And it's also really a sexy vibe because, we're in this mode of being really attracted and pulled into other people. So that's Mars sextile Neptune. On the page today, we have Venus sextile Neptune at 8:04 a.m. Mars and Venus are going to go through this for a while here, where they're making the same aspect with the same planet pretty close to each other. So Venus is more like romances in the air. Remember, we talked about that yesterday. It makes us more receptive and attractive to the people around us. Okay, so we're definitely more sensitive to what people are thinking and feeling, but we're also just we all sort of glow, and we're more able to pull in what it is that we need from those energies around us and from the people around us. So this is day 1 of 4 for that. And then also today on the sun side of the page, we have Mercury in a square relationship with Uranus, and that starts at 8:21 this evening. And this is this is our thoughts, plans, and communications in a challenging relationship with this awakening to the shifts and changes we can make. So we are going through a lot of changes. Hopefully, I know I have been. We've been making some unconscious changes. We've had some changes sort of come into our lives that we didn't really have a choice as to whether we were going to be part of them. But this aspect can bring about some excitement with the changes, but also some upset. Okay, so it's Mercury. Have a conversation. Talk about what's challenging you. Okay, talk about the changes that you see yourself possibly needing to make, but you don't really want to, or you don't understand how it's going to happen, or it just challenges somehow your perception of yourself in a way that is that is upsetting, or exciting in a scary sort of way. It's okay to have a conversation about that, and this is day 1 of 2 for that. And then in the coming up column, I put Venus sextile Neptune down here. I was looking at yesterday's page, guys. Venus sextile Neptune will still be with us tomorrow, but it started today. Next Wednesday, we will have a new moon in Pisces, and that will be our clean slate, the beginning of a new beginning for our creative cycle, where we can start to set our intentions for our short-term goals and long-term goals as well. Okay, if you're still with me, please give me a thumbs up, like my video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell. I post every day about the daily aspects, and I appreciate you all being here. Also, if you have any thoughts or questions or comments about what you see here, I would love to hear them. Go ahead and leave a comment below the video. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit of tarot before I let you all go. First, we're going to talk about the the card on the side of the page. The card on the side of the page represents the first 10 days of the sun's transit through Pisces, and that is the 8 of Cups. And the 8 of Cups sort of represents, disappointment with something that you invested in, especially creatively, or emotionally, or perhaps you had an intuitive idea that if you put a lot of your time and heart and soul into something, it would turn into something really great. And then when you got to the culmination of that creative endeavor, then you notice that it wasn't really what you were looking for. And so sometimes, good thing, here's the good thing. We have a bottomless well of love and creativity and inspiration available to us at all times. So yes, it kind of stinks sometimes to have to walk away from a creative investment that we've made that didn't pan out the way we would like it to. But it's also okay. It makes it okay for us to sort of leave it behind. Just let it go. Leave that emotional investment, that creative investment in the past so that you can move on to bigger and better things. And now I'm going to go ahead and throw a card for today. I've already mixed these cards up today, but I'm going to go ahead and continue to mix them up while I remind myself and the cards that the sun is in Pisces, and Jupiter and Neptune, co-ruling planets of Pisces, are sitting in Pisces now too. So that makes that Pisces creativity and expanded flow of inspiration very intense in our lives right now. This is a great time to take a rest because we're in Pisces, but it's also a great time to really notice how much more creative energy is coming into your life, and to think about and to work on expanding your capacity to allow that inspiration to flow through you into creative endeavors. And the waning crescent moon in Sagittarius invites us to seek new learning as we also endeavor to push out of our lives the old things that we know no longer work for us. We have Venus conjunct Mars, Jupiter sextile Neptune. So this is working on your partnerships and being dedicated to what you can create out of those partnerships. In this combination with this very good fortune vibe for positive change in our lives. And we're being encouraged again and again, inside and outside, to talk about the solutions we seek, to talk about the changes we're having difficulty making, and just to talk about the things that inspire us. Mars and Venus are working together with Neptune to make us to help us engage a little bit better with the human collective, to help us be in the spirit of humanity, so to speak. And, we've got some good lunar vibes on this side as well. Being able to celebrate, being able to immerse ourselves in the work that we're doing and have good functioning with that. And to be able to immerse ourselves also in conversation with people about what we're trying to create and grow. So this is a good time to be talking about our partnership goals, what isn't working for us, what changes we're challenged with making. Okay, and with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and throw a card. We got the High Priestess again, guys. Didn't we just get this a couple days ago? Okay, so I'm going to point directly to this void of course period of time here. Again, we have about 11 hours between 9:30 this evening and 8:30 tomorrow morning, when it's a good time to do your introspection, look within, trust your gut, your guidance, and your intuition, okay? This is the time when we look at what is normally hidden, at those parts of ourselves that we keep hidden, not just from the rest of the world in this conscious way that we sometimes keep things from people, but also, from ourselves. Sometimes you have to really go within and have a conversation with yourself and really give thought to, like, from where do these emotions I'm having arise, and what does this intuitive hunch I'm having have to do with anything, and what is it that I am seeking to create, and from where does that arise within me? So it's good to have some idea what you're reasons are for for intuiting what you intuit, for creating what you are creating, and for feeling the way that you're feeling. So it's okay to peek behind the veil within yourself, especially, and just to gain some real literal insight into what it is that you are seeking to express in the world. Because a lot of the stuff that is on the inside, in our body, in our heart and mind, and in our spirit, that goes unexpressed, it doesn't ever need to be expressed. It's personal. That's who we are on the inside. But a lot of it also does need to be expressed. A lot of it does need to be sort of pushed out of our body. And that brings me to this theme of release and letting go. Okay, so when you are in your intuitive space and engaged in your intuitive practice, whether that's meditation or journaling or tarot or throwing runes or trance work, there are all sorts of ways. There are all sorts of different approaches to communicating with your own self, your own subconscious. When you're there, part of part of the work is knowing what to let go, right? Part of the work is like, oh, I've been harboring this really old-fashioned point of view, or this really outdated attitude or disposition that no longer is doing me any good service. Okay, and so it's time to work those things out, talk them out, maybe express it into a journal or into a song or a piece of art, so that you can release it and it can get out of yourself, and you can be done with it and move on. Because this expansion, the expansion of creative flow, the expansion of inspired flow that we can turn into creation, it's going to require that we clear out some of the dead wood, the clutter inside of our hearts and souls. And taken in context with the Eight of Cups, what I can see is, an emotional or creative or an intuitive investment. So, this is something that came from within that we tried to express. And, perhaps we gave it expression, and having given it expression, we realized like, oh, this doesn't really represent me anymore. And I don't have to cling to this, and I don't have to stand here and have it represent me. I want to do better than this, so that's what I'm going to do. And that takes introspection, and it takes inner strength to be able to say, well, this thing that I created, sure, it's a creation, but it's not something that I wish to associate with any further, myself with any further. And so I'm going to abandon that emotional or intuitive investment and move on to better things. Okay, and I believe that's all that I have to say about that today, friends. Again, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you being here. My name is Mel Rose, and I will see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today.